Alright, that's pretty good. Now I just need to think of a good punchline to close us out. Let's see here. Oh, okay, that'll be good. Yeah? Well then, Shunsui, I'll cram it in there myself. Haha, perfect. Okay, I think I'm ready to go. Alright, Aizen. Get ready to be blitzed out of existence. It's showtime. What's happening, bro? I don't know, man. It's just... I woke up this morning and I just felt like, I don't know, part of me died. Now I just feel so empty inside. I don't know what the fuck to do. Oh, okay, I see what this is. You're going all emo on me. Yeah, don't worry about it, buddy. I've died at least 3 times on this show already. You should really talk to Rad about this. I think he's up into the triple digits by now. I mean, my advice to you would just be to try to cheer up through a game of, like, Destiny or something. Oh, that'd be great if I could just cheer up. I just can't get it together, you know? I just feel like I should just end it right here, right now. Oh, okay, well, that's a viable alternative, too. Hey, you need any help? We got Suicide Brick down here. You know, you want to help him out? He's been kind of lonely, you know? He's just like, hey, Law, you want to help me out? I haven't killed anyone since Rat Tekking number 76. I'm so lonely. He had a meth problem. It was a long story. It was the easiest way out, really. Okay, look, I know I'm the one that just mentioned it myself, but are you seriously trying to get me over my depression by asking me to kill myself? Yeah, well, I'm not really good at counseling people, but, hey, I know what something might cheer you up. Do you want to set up the intro for the review? Yeah, okay, here's freaking intro. Hey everybody, Tekking101 here to review Bleach chapter number 618 entitled The Dark Arm. It's a kick-ass name for a supervillain. Seriously, I mean, something kind of cliche, you know, you might come up with when you're like in 3rd grade, like, that's my supervillain name, guys, The Dark Arm. But, you know, it's good enough. And for those of you curious, I actually did come up with a supervillain name in 3rd grade, and he was called the Black Shroud. His design, I shit you not, was pretty much exactly like Uryu Ishida's outfit while he was in the Soul Society, except it was completely black. Like, he had the belt and the mantle and everything. And it's funny, because this was like in 2001, and I don't even think the Bleach anime even started yet. So, psychic teching anyone? I think so. He didn't use bows, though. He had, like, this staff that turned into, like, a sword. I miss him. I should go back and redesign him. But anyway, chapter starts off in the pitch blackness of Muken, where we see Shunsui Kyaruku. I don't know, in this panel, he just seems like he's kind of, like, sitting on the ground, like, ready to, like, invite Aizen over to have some sake. I know he's doing the lock thing in front of him, but it just looks like, hey, Aizen, man, come on, have a drink. Haven't been down here for so long. I mean, I know there's souls and everything, but they can still eat and drink. So the idea that Aizen's been down here for so long, I'm sure he's felt a little hungry, right? I mean, the whole point of souls is when you have high spirit energy, you get really hungry if it depletes. I mean, Aizen's probably wouldn't deplete, but I mean, once you have food, you get hungry. I mean, you guys like down there like, damn, I want some fucking karage or some shit down here. No, the big question, of course, here is what the hell is Aizen doing out of his seals? And this question is not at all answered or even really brought up in this entire chapter. I'm not shitting you guys! I don't get it! It doesn't make any sense. Last chapter, Aizen steps out of the darkness rocking like a badass, and Shunsui's thinking to himself, how the hell is he moving? I only unlocked 1 seal. And here he is, he's walking out of the darkness completely fine, you know, all these seals are coming off him, and he says the same thing he does at the end of last chapter, except Shunsui now has, like at the end of last chapter, he kind of had like a worried expression on his face, like what the hell? But in this chapter, that's that's completely all gone. He just inserts the remaining keys into the one for his left eye and for his ankle, and he just unlocks them, and then he's just like, oh, there you go, all three are in. Left eye and ankle, all released. How you feel now, buddy? It's like, I don't know if Shunsui's aware what Aizen's doing, because Aizen still clearly has some abilities that pertain to his Zanpakuto. I mean, the fact that he was able to mess with Yhwach to begin with proves he has some ability from his Zanpakuto embedded in him, because they wouldn't be stupid enough to put the fucking Zanpakuto in with them into Muken, even if it did exist, which his Zanpakuto began to break apart, so, you know, heaven knows if that thing is even remaining, but, you know, I don't get why they just completely remove it. I mean, I'm assuming Aizen just got his seals off when Yhwach met him the first time, but then what was up with this cover page when we see him all bound up to the pillars? I don't get it. It's not brought up by anybody in this chapter at all. It's actually really confusing, really. But anyway, I guess that's just kind of Aizen's way to bring on the mindfuckness on the series now that he's back. Even Kubo himself knows that the fabric of reality is beginning to shake. Anyway, though, they do what I expected them to do. They just have pretty much a dialogue back and forth. I wish they would talk about something more interesting than just, you know, the situation at hand. Like, hey, we have to get out of here. We have to save the Soul Society. I mean, this guy's been locked away for 2 years. If I was Shunsui, I'd just be like, hey, Aizen, what's going on? Not much. What's going on upstairs? Oh, well, you know, Yamamoto and Unohana died. Aw, damn it, really? I really liked her. She was fucking hot. Yeah, I know. Wait, seriously? You wanted to do... Yeah, I mean, really. I mean, honestly, if me and her fought, I mean, where would that go? I mean, I didn't even know what her Bankai did. She could have actually probably have killed me. Yeah, well, she's dead now. Oh, that sucks. I think I'll put flowers on her grave after this is all done. Anyway, no, most of this conversation seems like it's directly from an episode of 24, in which Shunsui is Jack Bauer, essentially, where it's like in one season, Jack takes down like one of the terrorists, and in the following season, he has to go talk to the terrorists for help against other terrorists. So Jack's just like, so Shunsui goes up to Aizen, and he's just like, okay, man, we basically need you to come up topside to help us out with this battle. I mean, you want to leave, don't you? We can get you out of here. Aizen, though, ain't having none of that. See, it's in Aizen's character to never really act like he's having any kind of human emotion, like even things that are really obvious. Like Shunsui is basically asking him, hey Aizen, you want me to help you get out of this dark, you know, foreboding place, probably smells like corpses down here? You want me to try to get you out of here and bring you up to fresh air? You know, an obvious answer would be yes, but Aizen can't do that because he'd be expressing an emotion of like gratitude or something. So instead he's just like, I don't recall asking you to have me released from here. Okay, Aizen, look, I know you, bro. I really do. Let's say you actually had your whole 20,000 year sentence. As in 20,000 years, you were released from this place. You probably would have walked out with a spring in your step just like you are right now. You probably wouldn't have acted like it even fazed you. Like, yeah, 20,000 years, no big deal. Okay, what am I going to do now? And then the Central 46 is just going to delegate like, oh shit, what do we actually do with him now? We didn't think what would happen after 20,000 years. We just figured he would have, you know, killed himself by that point or something. But, No, but Aizen, seriously, you should stop acting so cool and just get to the fight already. Can you just say, okay, let's just get out of here, because even I find this place kind of boring. I really do. But no, instead Aizen points out the fact that Shunsui actually has the key to Muken himself, not referring to the 20 keys that Shunsui used to unlock Aizen's seals. We're talking about the actual key to the underground prison that is actually currently embedded in his heart. Because the Central 46 figured that if Aizen killed him, he wouldn't have any way out. You want to think for a second that if Aizen killed Shunsui in a way that didn't destroy his heart, like cut off his head, Aizen could just like reach into his heart, pull out the key, and then just unlock the fucker himself, but I don't know. Maybe they were assuming like he would target his heart first and kill him, or the key would disintegrate if Shunsui was killed. Like, I don't understand why just implanting the key in his heart would guarantee that, you know, Aizen would stay in there had he killed Shunsui, unless the key, you know, just, you know, disappears along with him. But that's never been stated. They just say the key is in Shunsui's heart. Once again, I have to bring this up. The Central 46 is aware that the Soul King is dead, right? Like, they're rocking the foundation of the Soul Society. Like, everything is literally about to crumble into non-existence. Aizen should be the least of your worries. I mean, it's literally like, let this guy loose and try to help us, or all of existence just void. You know, like, dude, I understand, like, if the Soul Society were to survive, you'd have to worry about Aizen running around first, but that's an afterthought. Hell, okay, well, you know, Aizen might be running around free, and we have to deal with that guy over again, but hey, positive, we still exist! Even Aizen kind of points this out. He's like, wow, that lot of the Central 46, and I believe he's about to go on like a massive tirade on them, but instead Shunsui's just like, no, just forget about them, you know, whatever. It was really that bad. I mean, we're asking you to come help us, so would you just sit down in this chair and, you know, let these nice Keto Corps fellas carry you outside? Oh, hey, the Ku Klux Klan, I mean Keto Corps. Yeah, haven't seen those guys in a while. In case you forgot, the Keto Corps was one of the 3 main branches of the Soul Society. We have the Gotei 13, we have the Keto Corps, and the Stealth Force. The Keto Corps only appeared 3 times in this entire series, including this moment. The first time they show up, most importantly, is when they arrive and to prepare the Sokyo coup for Rukia's execution. The second time they show up is when Tessai and Hachi first appear in the Turn Back the Pendulum mini arc, where we see them as you know, Tessai was the captain of the Keto Corps or whatever, and Hachi was his vice captain or the vice leader or whatever title he had. He was the second in command of the Keto Corps. And then the third time they show up is right now. I believe they also show up at like the end of the Soul Society arc to like open the Senkaimon, and that's supposed to be their job, is like to bridge the worlds. But you know, whenever I look at these guys, I think of them as kind of like a secret society, or like the Freemasons of the Soul Society, basically. I mean, they've mastered Keto beyond any level. They can erect barriers, and they can perform these spells. Like, they know all the, like, they dedicate their lives to learning all the Hados or all the Bakudos. And they never show up any time. They never show up to like help to fight the Soul Society against any threats. So I'm like, what do these guys do? They just have like a little clubhouse they just hang in after school and just never do anything? But, you know, whatever. Okay, Aizen, are you really going to be that difficult? No, I don't want to go up there. It sucks up there. I like it down here in my nice, dank little prison cell. Okay, you want some tea, buddy? I brought you some tea. I even brought your favorite mug. Oh, well, okay, thanks, I guess. Okay, you ready to go with us then, buddy? I don't know, I'm still thinking about it. Oh, step aside, sir. This guy is so freaking rude. I'll tie him up and make sure he's secured to the chair. Huh, okay, yeah, buddy. Okay, hold on, yeah. This is the moment I'm sure he's been training for. He's you know, walking down the steps of Muken, and he's just like, I'm gonna get this motherfucker. Me, this obscure, unknown Keto Corps member, is gonna secure Sosuke motherfucking Aizen. I'm ready to do this. I don't know if you guys know this, actually, but he's actually a kind of important character. This is Vincent Kyo, and he's actually the brother of Shinigami Dave. That's right, the Kyo siblings are a triplet that actually are members of each one of the Shinigami's branches, and they're kind of prone to a little bit of bad luck. I mean, Shinigami Dave got put into the squad that, let's face it, has the highest fatality rate. We have Keto Corps member Vincent that got put into the, you know, this place. You know, they sent him down there to deal with Aizen, so, you know, they don't have hopes for them coming back. And the actually last of the 3 siblings is Sarah Kyo, who is a member of the Stealth Force, and she's actually pretty badass. She's next in line for 4th seat. She took out 7 Soldat in the last invasion. She's still alive. She's kicking some ass, actually. Yeah, she's pretty cool. But yes, I'm sure Vincent will do perfectly fine in securing the dangerous criminal that slaughtered all the Shinigami. Oh, damn! Wow, that didn't even... You gotta love this guy. He's just walking toward Aizen, and then all of a sudden he's like, wait a second, why can't I feel my finger? Oh my god, I'm melting! So yeah, but yeah, Vincent's fingers fall off, and Aizen gives the explanation for this. He says that the BDSM gear that he's wearing isn't actually a seal in the sense that it cancels out his Ryatsu at all. What the gear actually does is it actually just compresses his Ryatsu so it can't leave his body, or it only is like around a very limited area around his body. From the look of Vincent, it's like about like 2 feet from like around eyes, and that's as far as his Ryatsu can extend. And I think the idea is that Aizen's Ryatsu is so massive that when it's compressed down into that small of a radius, actually even getting close to him, and if you have any weak Ryatsu, like maybe Shunsui can get close to him without having like his body disintegrate, but if anybody even with, I'd say, a lieutenant level Ryatsu, or even like a regular captain level Ryatsu gets close to Aizen when these restraints are compressing all his Ryatsu down, is like you even get close to him and that'll like disintegrate you. Kind of like how when he was God level and he was walking around Karakura, and any spiritual being, any non-spiritual being that even came close to him just got like literally crushed immediately by his power. It's kind of like that, just because his Ryatsu is condensed. Props on Shunsui for actually knowing that that would probably happen, because he looks over at Vincent before he does that, and he's just like, oh, wait a second, I wouldn't do that. And Vincent doesn't even listen to the Captain Commander. He's like, no, sir, I got this. I'm not going to listen to your, you know, your opinion on this matter, despite the fact you are literally hundreds of, you know, probably 1,000 years my senior. Yeah, I got this. Fucking Vincent, you will be missed. Actually, I don't know if he's dead. He just seems kind of like, you know, he's not going to be able to be, you know, playing ping pong anytime soon, but he might still be alive. But yeah, Aizen just basically cuts to the chase and says, hey, you want me to lend my power to save the Soul Society. Shunsui kind of just like directs that away. He's just like, oh, well, I never said anything for you fighting for the Soul Society or anything like that. It's just that our points of interest are about to intersect here. And I think what he means by that, and Aizen's response to that is just like, that is a little fascinating there, Shunsui. You are an interesting man. I think what that might mean is the fact that now the Soul King is involved in the whole situation. You know, Aizen's interest is the Soul King, and the fact that, you know, we have to save him in order to stop the destruction of the Soul Society. I think Shunsui's getting across here like, hey, you wanted a shot at the Soul King. He's right there. He's dead. He's there for the picking. So if you want to come up and help us, you know, you stop Yhwach first, but then we'll talk about that later. But, you know, that's how it goes. So Aizen just kind of looks down and he thinks for a moment, and he's just like, oh, you say you want me to have some fresh air, but you mean this is the very same Soul Society whose air just got thrashed by Yhwach. But anyway, I guess it's a little bit more fresh air than sitting around here with Arturo Plateado just talking about freaking manga the entire time. Okay, tell you what, I'll go with you. There you go, Aizen. I mean, he doesn't actually agree to go with Shunsui in this chapter, but it's pretty much implied. Oh, Aizen, it's such a joy to be alive, isn't it? We're all going to die someday. And you know what? Everybody knows it. Even 4-year-olds in preschool know it. It's a basic concept. Everything lives, eventually dies. So the rest of our lives are basically just one massive distraction to avoid the inevitable reality that we're constantly falling down into a black abyss, into nothingness, into the void. What do you think? Yeah, man. Nice talking to you. So we get the title page, then we cut back up to the Chrysalis Palace where we see Yhwach attempting to stop the Mimihage or the Kamekake. I mean the Mimihage is the name of the god that's clinging to the Soul King, his right arm, and the Kamekake is just the process of embedding the Mimihage into somebody. So I'm going to call him by Mimihage-sama. I guess that's his actual legitimate name, or I guess I could just say the right hand. Whatever, Yhwach stretches out a hand to try to stop it, you know, probably using some technique or maybe like a Quincy spell. The Mimihage just stops him in his tracks and he can't get much closer. Yhwach brings up something that we didn't actually know, that the Soul King actually severed the right arm from him, so the right arm should have no concern about the Soul King anymore. Like, they separated, like, it's kind of like Stark, you know, I'm getting Stark flashbacks here, where, like, the Soul King apparently, like, willingly severed part of his own body to go off and become, you know, its own separate being, and now that they're two separate beings, you know, Yhwach's wondering, like, you separated from the Soul King, why are you here protecting him? You can, you know, have your own existence, why do you need to, you know, rejoin back into the amalgam that is the Soul King? But, you know, whatever, the Mimihage doesn't actually respond to Yhwach at all, and Yhwach just kind of like, oh, well, you know, if that's the case, fuck it, I'm just going to destroy both of you. To which Ichigo then jumps into the fray and blocks Yhwach's hand. Actually, Ichigo, I would be a little bit more careful about touching this guy, considering what happened last time when you just touched his sword, but hey, I guess there's nothing else to do in this situation, except maybe using Getsuga Tensho from a distance, or, you know, maybe Ganju throwing a smoke bomb to maybe distract everybody, or Chad using El Directo or La Muerte, or Hime even using her, you know, reject ability to, like, distract Yhwach. Anything instead of coming in direct contact with this guy would be wonderful. As Ichigo tries to encumber Yhwach's advance, we then have Yoruichi flash step directly over Yhwach and pulls out a bunch of these cards, stating that right away, Ichigo, time to do it. Oh crap, I think I know what she's doing here, guys. Okay, we already have the head and the right arm, so that means all we need is the 3 remaining pieces. I summon Exodia, the Forbidden One! Boom, and the duel is won, Yhwach. Actually, I looked it up. Funny story, the only way that Exodia can be countered properly is if the other person has Exodia in the hand the same time you do. So if you pull out like I don't know, a morphing jar or some shit, and both of you happen to draw 5 pieces of Exodia at the same time, it ends in a draw. That would be the most legendary draw in the history of a Yu-Gi-Oh match. So, I mean, I don't think it's ever even happened in history, but that would be really awesome. Of course, not the cards that Yoruichi pulls out are not parts of Exodia the Forbidden One. No, what they actually are You know, actually, they kind of look like free marijuana pamphlets to me. I don't know. Maybe the Soul King is into that sort of thing. I don't know. But regardless of what the cards actually are or what they represent, the point that Yoruichi's trying to do here is, I guess, erecting a barrier around the Mimi Hage clutching the Soul King, because her perspective is like, okay, well, whatever this thing is, it's stabilizing the Soul King. Like, we were all about to die a minute ago, and now when this thing showed up, everything's stable. So the smart thing to do, I guess, would be just to erect a barrier, just to leave the Soul King in this state right now as long as possible. So I don't think this has anything to do with actually like merging the two together, just like setting up a barrier so that the two can't be interrupted by Yhwach or whatever. I mean, it must be like the strongest barrier like the Shihoing family can erect. Meanwhile, while this is going on, Yhwach doesn't really seem to be, concerned about this, maybe because he figures he could just break whatever barrier Yoruichi sets up, but he just starts going back on his Bond villain dialogue once again. Ichigo, why did you stop me? You're a Quincy too, therefore then I should be your ally and we should help kill the Soul King together. Then we can go out for donuts after this. Oh, wait, the universe will be destroyed. Oh, we can try to find a parallel universe and get donuts there, if donuts exist in that world. And you know what? Kubo, I just thought of something you really missed out on. A concept that would have just been beautiful. Because let's be honest here, the rest of this chapter is pretty much just the typical speech that I hate whenever it gets brought up with Ichigo. It's happened like 5 times, with like 5 different opponents. It happened to Byakuya, it happened to Grimmjow, it happened to Ginjo, and it goes like this. Yhwach states, why are you really doing this when you should be doing this? Because I need to protect my friends, and the Soul Society, and the real world, and Hueco And even if there's somebody else that could do it, I couldn't just sit around and do nothing. Look, I'm not calling it a bad reasoning. It's a good reasoning, okay? Ichigo wants to help all the people around him. That's fine, that's great. But that's so cliche. I mean, I could say that about my life. Like one of my friends needs a ride to the airport or something. I'll be like, oh, well, I'm always looking out for my friends. That's just kind of like something everybody says in normal life. But anyway, the thing that Kubo could have done here, and I think this would have improved the chapter, not just from like a dialogue perspective, but also from like an emotional perspective, and like a little bit of an evolution of Ichigo's character, is when Yhwach's going on and on about how, you have my Quincy blood flowing through your veins, boy. You will listen to me. I am the benefactor of all Quincy's. Ichigo should have said something akin to this. He should have said, Yhwach, it is not your blood that's flowing in me. I don't give a shit if you're the father of all Quincy's. This is not your Quincy blood. This is my mother's Quincy blood. And I'm going to follow in her footsteps and not yours, because it's by your hand that you killed her. And, my love for my mom exponentially overrides any, like it's kind of like a nature versus nurture argument. Like, my love for my mother overrides any, like, just by nature I'm supposed to obey you because you're the father of all Quincy's. He should have brought up his mom, because Ichigo's aware of everything about his mom's past, and he doesn't even bring it up at all to anybody. He should be like, this is my mom's Quincy blood, not yours. I don't give a fuck about you. And you can have, like, a little ghost, like, blue Jedi spirit of Masaki appear behind Ichigo, be like, that's my boy, some shit like that. I don't know. No, of course we don't get that. Instead, Ichigo just decides to go all ham on Yhwach and decides to break out Getsuga Jujisho. Sorry, no, can't do that a second time. We have to wait a couple more dozen chapters before Ichigo decides to do that again. Let's just go for a good old time and tested Getsuga Tensho. And I know the energy is black, and I'm not really thinking that's like a huge big issue to get all worked up about. I mean, usually when he used the black Getsuga Tensho, he has to be in Bankai, but considering the fact that his new Shikai is releasing all of his Shinigami power and his Hollow power alike, I'm going to say like either Ichigo can switch back and forth between using Hollow-fied Getsugas and normal Getsugas, like from the basis of his Shinigami or Hollow powers, or it could be indicative that his current Getsuga Tensho in Shikai level is about on the same level as his Bankai, if not greater. I don't think it's that big of a deal to get worked up over the fact it's a black Getsuga is what I'm saying. And this doesn't really do anything to injure Yhwach. It just kind of serves to, I guess, like, punctuate Ichigo's sentences. You ever notice he kind of does, like, the really badass shit for no real reason, even if it doesn't really affect anybody? Like, when he's talking to Ginjo's talking smack about him, like, hey, guess what, bro? Everything that you had was a lie. And Ichigo's just like, just shut up, Bankai! Like, it's the only thing he knows how to do to kind of just, like, punctuate his sentences, and he did it again here. Yhwach's like, I am your father, boy, and Ichigo's just like, no, you're not! gets a Gatencho! You know, what of it? And then he just gives that, like, really boring-ass line, and what of it, which could have been, you know, could have looped all back around to his mom, but whatever. You know, and the chapter finishes off by Ichigo just basically saying something like, oh, well, you know, I'm not going to listen to you because I'm not just going to let you have your way, and Yhwach's just like, oh, well, whether I have my way or not is simply a matter for these eyes of mine to decide. Oh, God, bro, you're really looping it back around to this? You just witnessed something right in front of you that escaped your gaze, and you're still going on and on about how nothing escapes my gaze. Oh, jeez. Oh, the Yhwach's getting derailed quickly, guys. I don't know. I mean, he's still a cool villain, but if he keeps going on with this almighty eye shit, I swear to God, I'm gonna suicide brick him because this is getting ridiculous. But yeah, my battery on my camera is dying, so let me just give you the wrap-up really quick on what I believe is going to happen next. I'm gonna say that the fight against Ichigo and Yhwach is gonna get started maybe like in spades next chapter, like they're actually gonna start fighting like legitimately, like Yhwach using his almighty power, pulling out a sword, using Bleach or something. And I guess that we have a spectator sport back there. I mean, really, if anyone was intelligent here, I'm just throwing this out there, why don't you all jump this motherfucker at once? I mean, leave Yoruichi alone. She's doing her whole ceiling thing. But aside from Yoruichi, aside from Ichigo, Yoruichi has been the... And, you know, I'm just going to throw this idea out here. Why haven't you 5 fuckers jumped this guy already and just start trying to beat the shit out of him? I mean, I know it's probably not going to work, but you could try. I mean, aside from Ichigo, and Ichigo really hasn't even done anything huge except, you know, Getsugo something through a wall and, you know, kill God, but we're just not going to talk about that from now on. Aside from Ichigo, Yoruichi's the only person who's attempted to do anything here, because she knows what the fuck she's doing, for one, but as for, you know, Orihime, Chad, and Ganju, they're just sitting back there like, I wonder if we're supposed to do anything. I mean, the only reason Orihime attempted to do anything was because Yoruichi directly told her to. I mean, aren't you guys supposed to be stronger and more independent at this point? I mean, hell, you know, Ganju, launch an attack. Ganju, you know, throw like a freaking, you know, 10-ton... I mean, Ganju, throw like a MP... I mean, Ganju, throw like a couple, like... I mean, Ganju, throw like a special stick of dynamite in Yhwach's face or something. Or, you know, Chad, use your like energy blast or something. I mean, it might not work, but at least try, guys. I mean, come on. Whatever. Anyway, yeah, next chapter, Ichigo, Yhwach fight, I guess, maybe. Might get a little bit more of Aizen, maybe leaving the prison, but yeah, that's about it, guys. Anyway, thanks for watching. Tekking, just signing out, man.